name is Samantha Moonsammy. So happy to be here with you today. And I'm here with my good friend and a mover and shaker in the Ottawa area, Meenakshi, the founder of the Lotus Movement. Good morning. How are you today?
Hi, Sam. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, thanks. You know, we talk all the time, and I've been watching your organization grow, and I'm so proud of you and everything that you're doing. You're truly an educator in the space about mental health. And, I hope there's a day one day when this whole word stigma and like doesn't even exist, and it's just like a thing. And we acknowledge that, you know, every day is different in our lives, and to just embrace it, and that we have these great organizations like the Lotus Movement to lean on when we need that support. And so happy. So Meenakshi and Sana, they are two of our keynote speakers at MoveCon 2020. So in November this month, they're going to be speaking and sharing their wisdom on maternal mental health, which is also a topic that doesn't get talked about a lot. So happy that they're shining the light on such an important topic. And today, Meenakshi is going to share with us a little bit about like what is the Lotus Movement, her inspiration behind it. And I know I'm going to learn a lot from this too. And a big thank you to the Green Beaver Company for powering up our podcast. In the show notes, I'm going to put a 25% off promo code so you guys can shop, live green, and live your best life. So we're going to get started here, my friend. So tell me, what is the reason behind the organization, the Lotus Movement?
This has been on my mind for a very long time. And I think I finally hit a point in my life where I said to myself, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do this? And a lot of this was sparked from my own experience with mental health, having had two babies and having gone through the postpartum with both of them, experiencing more of the postpartum with my second, and then realizing that in actuality, I've been experiencing bouts of anxiety and depression my entire life, but I didn't know it because I didn't know what mental health really was. We never really had conversations about mental health in our household. It was more of a, everything will be okay, leave it to God, things will be fine. And so for me, there was never a conversation around mental health. And finally, as I learned more and I researched more and I discovered more of myself and did a lot of inner work, that's when I realized that I've been battling my own mental health struggles. So, and I knew that if I was battling it in silence, that I knew there were many others in our community as well who were most likely feeling the same way. Specifically in the South Asian community, there's a stigma that still exists. Many people frown upon even the mentioning the name mental health. And so I really wanted to start this organization in hopes of ending the stigma, raising the awareness, bringing about education, and kind of sharing resources and allowing people to acknowledge that mental health is not a negative thing, that it can be such a positive experience to discover what your journey of mental health is and how can you better yourself through it as well. So we launched in April, so kind of right in the middle of a pandemic, but that was kind of also a blessing in disguise because it allowed the organization to connect with so many people globally. So we've connected with people like not only across Canada, but across the border in the US as well, and in the UK and in India as well. So it's really allowed us to reach all of these folks, and it's because we leveraged a lot of our social media platforms out there. So yeah.
I love that. And I have to say, I just got like a little message. I feel like my dad's smiling down at us right now.
Oh.
He suffered from mental health, and it was something he would always say. And he's like, I just don't feel right. And I remember like no one really understanding it and kind of just like shrugging it off. And like, as a kid, like I was confused. I didn't know what to tell him, but I admire that he had the courage to at least say something. So he did acknowledge it and he did go for help. But I definitely think there could have been some more support. So let's go right into the next question then. Yeah. Like, why do you think there is this taboo?
I think the taboo exists because of the cultural norms that we have in our community. It's we're always supposed to put on our most happy face and our most amazing accomplishments and successes. But in actuality, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people experience that doesn't get shared. The stress that it takes on people, the anxiety that people feel when they're going through life and trying to accomplish all of these amazing things. it's really frowned upon. You know, even the mention of, like I said earlier, just saying that, you know, sharing with my own household that I was feeling anxious and I was feeling these bouts of anxiety. You know, the first kind of question I got was, well, do you need to take medication? And I said, well, I'm not sure, but that's, you know, even if that's the case, well, what's wrong with that? So I think there's a lot of negative connotation towards mental health because of this exact thing, that people look at it as, you know, there's something wrong with you, that you probably can't function properly because of, you know, the way that you're feeling, or you're not able to do your day-to-day tasks, when really you can. If you find the right resources, and if you find the right support, and if you get the help that you need, you can do just about anything. And so that's where the conversation needs to start, that get the help that you need, raise more awareness about it, and show and prove to everyone that you are just as capable. So this is the messaging that we're going out there with. And we're just, even, I think, just, you know, mentioning these words of anxiety and depression and talking more about it and kind of expressing it more, I feel like that in itself is already kind of shifting a narrative and shifting, you know, the mindset that, oh, okay, you know, it's okay to talk about it. Because I think there's a lot of people in our community who don't want to use these words because of the negative connotation. But the more that we speak about it, I think the more that people will be able to break out of their shells and be able to share their own journeys as well.
I love that. And I am feeling a shift. I think everything you just described has definitely been my experience of putting, like, you know, like you have the persona at work and you're always professional. And just recently, actually, I told my manager, I'm like, I'm overwhelmed with work. Like, so today I need that day to just have a slower pace. So I'm going to do more of like the reading and absorbing. And I need, like, if there's times and I can not be on a meeting or not be on a call, today would be the day to do it. And I was so happy that I spoke out. I would have never done that years ago. But it helped tremendously. Like, she asked me the next day, like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not 100%, but I definitely, I had a bit more rest, and just not talking all day helped tremendously.
Yes.
It's just like, okay, I'm glad. So that's like a small example of things that you can do in your workforce or with your family. I think we need to realize you don't always have to be on, especially as someone who maybe naturally took on that role for so many years. Like, we're shedding those layers. And I think that that's really important for humankind to be like that.
Absolutely. Yes. And just to add to that too, I think an important component and concept is the discussion around boundaries, right? Like setting those boundaries in not just your personal life, but in your work life and your professional life as well. Very similar to you, Sam, like I was always the one to raise my hand and say, yes, I'll take on, you know, every task that's kind of handed my way. But recently it's been, you know, at that point where I have to slow down. I have to check in with myself and make sure I'm okay. Make sure that I'm not feeling overwhelmed and I'm not pushing my boundaries, because, you know, if we're hurting ourselves, well, then we're also hurting the people around us as well. We're not giving them the due attention as well. So it's really important to set these boundaries in professional and personal life.
I love that. Thank you. So who sits on the organization of the Lotus Movement?
Who's on the organization? Is that, yeah. Okay. So we've got a stellar team. I have to give a shout out to every single person on this team. So there's Sana Chaudhry, there's Jessie Bull, there's Herleen Sethi, there's Amarpreet Vaid, there's Natasha Khan, she's situated in the UK. So she's like our overseas representative. And then there's Lisa Barker as well. And we're just a team full of the same mission, the same ambition, and the same fuel to spark this conversation in our community and make a change. The other thing that Lotus is really focusing on is working with other organizations in Ottawa as well to build that unity and to build that idea of connection and working together and, you know, kind of joining forces, because That's the other thing with the mental health organization, is that there is a lot of pushback. There are a lot of challenges that are experienced. The momentum is not there as much as it would be for a more mainstream type of, topic. So it's very difficult to kind of have these conversations. But with this team and with all our networks within the team, and also working with other organizations, we've really been pushing and moving a lot of things forward. So super, super grateful for this entire team.
Oh, I could feel the energy, and you're right. Many hands make light work, and I love that. So congratulations. So tell me what you and your team have planned in the next little while.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up, our year end. We've done a lot in this past, ever since we started, I want to say past 7-8 months. A lot of, like I said, community building. So, establishing these relationships, as well as hosting a lot of virtual events. We've had to kind of pivot our way of going about bringing resources and bringing people together in our community. So we've done a lot of virtual setting events. So a lot of things on Zoom, but we also recognize at the same time there is a lot of Zoom fatigue. But we're just trying to do as much as we can with the limitations in place. So, therapeutic art workshops, we've been hosting those. We did a couple of information sessions on managing your anxiety during COVID. We just hosted a few weeks ago a panel discussion on maternal mental health. And this was such a good discussion and so needed. And we partnered up with another local organization for that. And so in the coming year, we're hoping to do more, because again, we're kind of still in this cloud of a pandemic. So we'll be aiming to do more virtual style events. We'll try, once the weather does open up after we're over the winter months, we'll try and do more outdoor style activities. We did a couple of those. Sam, you were there for our first kind of official kickoff, where we hosted, an outdoor event, and it was just an opportunity for people to move and get out and absorb, not just the fresh air, but also just seeing people and realizing that, we're kind of getting out of this hibernation and we're able to see people, and really highlighting the importance of physical and mental health and the correlation there. So a lot more planned for the coming year. Really, it's just, like I said, the connection, making those connections, working with other local organizations as well, and doing a lot more fundraising. So we've been supporting the Royal Mental Health Center, and we've been doing a lot of fundraising events for them, because we recognize that they are kind of the main establishment and institution in Ottawa where they are providing resources to folks in need. So we'll be hopefully doing like a winter coat drive soon, and we have an ethnic food drive that we're hosting in the next couple of weeks, and that's to support the Ottawa Food Bank. So a lot of wherever we can support, that's what we're trying to do, and wherever we can give back, that's another area we're really trying to focus on.
I love this so much. I love that, the word partnership and collaboration is truly at the heart of the Lotus movement. Like what you just explained to me is always what I wanted to see Canada be. Let's represent everyone in our country. So I love that you're working with these big organizations, but you're recognizing the cross-cultural element within them, like with the ethnic food drive, and knowing that the go-tos at the Royal, but that, you're this voice in this community within it. So I think that really is the way to go. And that's so inspiring. I'm so happy. So when you talk about maternal mental health, I know this is the topic you want to talk at MoveCon. Why of all things, why did you want to bring that to the forefront?
So already motherhood can feel very lonely, very isolating. There's a whole shift in identity. And then you add in the layer of a pandemic, and that's just a whole other ballpark, because you can't do kind of the normal-esque type things like going to play dates, grabbing a coffee with another mom, going for those mall walks. These are all things that I used to love doing. And when I kind of went through not being able to do that because of a pandemic, it hit me. And if it hit me, I'm very certain that it hit a lot of new moms out there. And so just having these conversations about realizing, number one, we're not alone. We are in this together. Let's kind of unite as a community and recognize this. Let's come together and talk about, you know, some of the struggles and challenges we're going through, recognizing again that, you know, sometimes we feel that we're crying because we're, you know, there's something wrong with me, when in actuality there's nothing wrong. There's so many emotions and so many feelings that we go through in a day as moms, and it's okay to feel that way. One day you can feel completely happy and completely great and loving life, and the next day you could be questioning, what am I doing? Or you could be thinking that you're failing as a mother. And these are real emotions that we feel. So having these discussions, and also recognizing that there are areas in our community that do have resources available to us moms. So one thing that we highlighted in our last panel discussion was Family Services Ottawa has a baby blues program specific for moms who are experiencing anxiety and depression postpartum. And this was something that I didn't even know about until, you know, through the Lotus and through the connections, realizing that these resources are available. And so just, you know, realizing that this is there was, again, another eye-opening experience, that there are free resources in our community. And it's just a matter of us coming together and having open dialogue and conversations about it, and then recognizing that there is help out there for us. So we want moms to know that they're just not alone. They're not alone, and it's important that we get the help that we need, because we have to not just show up for our families, but we have to show up for ourselves as well, and we have to make sure that we're okay as moms. So this is why maternal mental health is such a strong topic for us and our team, because there are, you know, some of us are moms on the team as well. So it's important that we talk about this more, because many of us in our own respective experiences have gone through anxiety and depression. And so we just want to make sure that our community is doing okay, and that we can help direct them to the right places.
Oh, what a breath of fresh air, you know?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know that term before. And it's just like, it just goes to show there's so much. And you just hit it on the nail. Like, you didn't know that baby blues program exists, and it was under our nose in the city. So this is why we do what we do. You know, let's keep on working together, shining the light on these important projects. Meenakshi, you're doing a wonderful job, you and your team, with the Lotus Movement. I follow you on Instagram, and I've participated in your events. So I highly recommend, if you guys haven't been following them yet, I'll put in the show notes, but it's at the _Lotus_movement. And you know, what a great place for resources for everyone. Yes, there's a cross-cultural dynamic, which I think is wonderful, but you'll see, like, if you're a mom, or if you're facing these different things that we just talked about today, I know Meenakshi is great on social media and interacting. She'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to join the organization and volunteer, if you have a great idea, like, she's always open to collaboration. So it's just such an exciting time. I wish you so well. I know you just returned to work, and that's a whole new phase. And I think we're all the world is changing so fast. Yesterday, we announced our first female vice president in the US. And now I just think, okay, let's just get COVID to disappear now. Like, I just feel like there's an upswing, like, at the end of 2020 right now, you know? So let's stay on this, you know, and just be grateful that we're acknowledging the different things that are going on inside of us, and that, you know, we can lean on each other for help. So thank you for being that person in our community that we can lean on. Actually,
thank you so much. Thank you, and all the love back to you, Sam. You are doing amazing work to bring the community together, and highlighting, you know, all these collaborations and partnerships and organizations. We wouldn't be able to do it without you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. So here we are at MoveCo Live. We're going to sign out soon. I hope you enjoyed our talk today. And if you want to hear more from Meenakshi and Sana, you get to hear them again at MoveCon later in November. So enjoy this beautiful sunny day, Meenakshi, and we will be in touch. For everyone else, have a wonderful day and all the best.
Bye. Take care.